morning, guys. It almost feels like spring. We've actually had 3 days in a row with no snow, so I am pretty excited about that. So I started working on this little spring tree that I had. It used to be a Christmas tree with lights on it, one of those wire trees that you can pick up, and you may have some, or you can just look online and type up wire tree, or you can just make your own with a bunch of wire, twist it at the bottom and bring branches out, or any tree that you might already have. And what I did was I added about 200 leaves to it, and then I made all these cute little birds, and I have a bunch down here that I still need to put on the tree. And then I added some little crepe paper flowers. I had made hundreds of little crepe paper flowers last summer, and I just added like one, just really a light color white, and I just added them into the center like little buds and a little bird's nest. So we're just gonna get started with the leaves first, and we'll just walk you through it. If you have a leaf stamp, you could use that. I just really like this one on this tree. I ended up stamping almost 200 of them. So it was a little time consuming. If your tree's not 4 feet tall, it'll probably go a little faster. So all I did, and you don't need to really do the stem, is just stamp as many as I could onto a piece of book paper. And I think I most of the time got anywhere from 9 to 11. And so what I did was for every branch that came out, I put a leaf at the end. You could even add more in the center of the branch if you want. And when I first started the project, I tried to stamp a mirror image on the back. It just didn't come out so well, so I just said, you know what, I'm not doing it. Now let's get cutting them out. Now all I did was kind of cut close, and I'm cutting off the branch part. And this does take a bit, depending on how many you need. So what I'm going to do now is glue all my leaves on. So on the back side, I'm just using Aleene's tacky glue, and I'm just going to do a little line about halfway down with glue. This tree already has all its leaves glued on, so I'm just going to show you. So what I did then is on every branch, you can see where I laid it in the center. And then what I did is I just held it for a few seconds and then let them all dry on. And then you do it 200 more times. So now we're gonna make our bird. And when I did him, I wanted him to be a little more substantial than just one sheet of paper. So I took a piece of, actually like a file folder, heavy cardstock. And what I'm gonna do is you're gonna glue a piece of book paper on the front and on the back. Probably would have been easier. I kind of cheated and ran it through my sticker machine, so it's already all nice and sticky and tacky. You can use glue, but if you don't get every part of it glued, when you cut them out, it might not be stuck, and you'll have to kind of re-glue it a little bit. Stick a piece on the back side. So now this is a little sturdier and stronger. And what I'm gonna do is, I'm using my bird stamp from the Birds and Vines, and I'm just stamping it in black. And I used both birds, one facing right and one facing left. And then I'm just gonna stamp him all over the page also. So now I am going to cut these out also. I found the easiest way is to kind of cut around them first and then cut them out. So I'm just going to cut kind of close, but not into the black. And at the legs, I'm kind of just going around. now we're gonna start with the wings. So the first thing you're gonna need is a paperback book. Just find an old book or pick one up at Goodwill or somewhere. So it's got a light cover on it. I had an old book and I ripped the cover off, but all of the spine was still intact. So what I want is where the spine is, you're gonna wanna cut it so it's 1.5 inches from the spine. That's what I did, is 1.5 inches from the spine, and you're gonna cut straight down your book. I just happen to have an industrial paper cutter that just cuts right through it. But what you could do is just take a ruler, draw your line, take a really sharp X-Acto, and just start cutting. And cut through your book 1.5 inches. And then after you've done that, what I did is I cut it 2.5 inches long for this bird. So I cut it 1.5 inches down, and you're gonna get several out of one book, probably 2 or 3. And so now you have a piece that's 1.5 by 2.5. Then what you're gonna do is you only need about 1/3 of an inch thick. So you're gonna get quite a bit just from the one that you cut. And you're just gonna guess. And when you carefully cut, you're gonna open your book up and you're just gonna start to slice. You wanna be really careful because you don't want to slice the pages. So I kind of just pull it open with my X-Acto and cut through this and just cut all the way down till I have about 1/3 of an inch thick. So you can see what you end up with. So it's 1.5 inches from the spine, 2.5 inches down, and then 1/3 inch thick. So let's get folding. So what I am doing with this, and I thought this was kind of a fun wing, was all I'm gonna do is just fold this page at an angle down and just do that all the way through. And this is what you end up with. You can see how I have him on here. Now you could have made it shorter. This one seems a little bigger than my other ones, but you could have made it not 2.5, maybe 2 inches. You could make it a lot shorter. So you could kind of just play with it to see what you like. And then all I'm gonna do is put this where the wing is, the tip. And I'm just gonna put a small staple right in here and right in here on both sides. Now what I did find is if I want to distress this or antique this or do anything with it, I need to do it before I put the wings on, because it made it a little difficult. So I'm just gonna use some of this gold ink and just kind of brush it over this bird a little bit. And then also on my pages here. Now, if any of the little pages get loose, just, take them out and get to the next page. You can just pop them off, because sometimes that happens. And then you can see how cute he is. The last thing I'm gonna do is make him stand. You could actually just take a string and make a hole and hang him, but I wanted him to stand on my tree. So what I did is I put some hot glue right here and glued this little baby clothespin here, and then you could just clip them on to anywhere you want. So when I got all my birds done, and I said I have a whole pile more to put on here, just put all your leaves on, and then you're gonna pin all your birds on that you have done. And I said I had made these little crepe paper flowers, but you could really just buy a bunch of artificial flowers or any little buds you like, and I just glued them into the center of where all these branches came out. Then I even had just added a little bit of green crepe paper flowers, just to a few here and there to give it a little more color. And after that, you can add whatever you would like, or just leave it or fill it up, put it on a cute stand, and you're all done. Have fun with this project.